Welcome, everyone, to the Great Awakening.
What?
You have entered a quantum realm, quantum field. Where are you all from?
Oh, I just got out of a rave, man. Did you see that?
I smell that on you.
Oh, sorry, I'm still high. Did you guys see that guy with the Viking horns and the really nice triangle thing? I lost him at the rave. Do you guys know where he is? Maybe we could find
Arizona? I don't know. It's just a guess.
Oh, okay, good. We'll hook up.
Where are you from, Santa? What's going on here?
Walking to my car from the Freedom Rally and the Christmas rally, and the police gave me a fine, and then I got in my car, and here I am.
How long ago?
That was 3 weeks ago. Do you know what today is?
I missed Christmas?
Yeah, what day is it?
Holy crap.
Today's January 8th, 2021.
What?
And you, Missy, where did you come from?
I just came from the year 3,333.
What?
And we're teaching our children about once when the earth went through a great awakening.
Oh, well, you have quite the story today to share with the two of you, but you already know it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, like so.
That's wonderful.
And when was your rave?
I think it was sometime.
You could be our little pet.
I don't know. I think it was sometime in the 90s, like late 90s.
Oh, you got a lot of
I think it was like somewhere around Burning Man. Maybe it was like.
Speaking of Viking boy.
What about Viking boy?
Well, he showed up at the Capitol a couple days ago. I think he was missing Burning Man.
Oh, that's where he is. Well, I'll have to hook up with Viking boy, that's for sure. So what happened to you at your...
I don't know. I got the rally, and they gave a ticket. They wrote, I think I lost it already. And here I am. I guess
I hear you're just stuck in the time warp. Oh my goodness.
So COVID's over, or what? Is it all done?
Is COVID over?
No.
I thought 2020, that was it.
We're still
I was
playing
waiting
that
for the
game.
conjunction and everything.
No, we're still playing that game.
Man,
It's all just a cover.
what a bummer.
But you would know that better than any of us.
Well, all I can say is don't be frightened for too long. It's but a distant memory for us now. It's almost difficult to explain. People don't even understand how all of this could exist in the year 2020. So you guys will learn.
Time traveling. This is my first time back in another meat suit.
Trust me, if I could time travel right now, I would. If like the UFO comes down, like just take me.
January 8th. I thought I was supposed to be going back like to about 2025 when all of this stuff was done. Like they programmed us and said it would be bad, but I didn't realize how bad. That's why I went to the rave, because I didn't know when I was going to be taken for my time travel. And here I am. Here I am. When did that Viking show up at the Capitol?
Well,
just a couple days ago?
Yes, on January 6th. So a couple days ago.
Okay.
He and his band of merry men basically strolled right into the Capitol building like it was planned or something.
Oh, that's amazing.
No.
When he was high on drugs, when we met in the field, he told me all about this story that he went into the future, and we had this connection based on time traveling and all of that. It was so magical. And then he just disappeared. He was gone.
Well, he had a role to play as well in all of this, as do we all, because are we not all watching a movie?
We are watching a movie. That's what we were programmed with too, for sure. I'm so grateful to be here, though. Oh, this coat. You're just like a
Wraith pet.
Do you want to pet it? Do you want to pet my coat?
Absolutely.
Yes. My friend Holly gave me this before I went to the festival. She told me not to wreck it, so I didn't.
I think I'll manifest that design for tomorrow's clothes.
Right? Like, look at this. I feel so woo. Like I was dancing, like really, really dancing. So I know a lot of things have happened, so I'm going back a few years. So we're not fully into this whole time
travel stuff.
Well, yeah, does everybody know about time travel?
Well, only what I've seen on TV.
Oh, in movies?
Yeah, in movies and stuff, which is the whole point, because they have to show us.
Oh, yeah.
Soft disclosure.
That's
everything
right.
that's happening.
Yeah.
So I do believe, you like my wand?
That is a beautiful wand.
I do believe that
Can I stroke your wand?
Yes, you can. Just don't drop it.
Oh, I shan't drop it.
Okay.
That
I
is
do
a
believe that
gorgeous
time
wand.
travel exists,
Look
but
at this
To
wand.
tell you that in our schools that we teach the children that when they hit 11 years old, all about the science and art of time travel.
The science and art of time travel. That's amazing.
It's common knowledge.
does Tesla exist in your world? Is he alive?
Tesla is always lived in our world.
Oh.
He's been there the whole time, and he's
That's
just one of us.
amazing. Yay!
Yeah, he's
I'm
probably
so
still
excited.
in my world right now. My world's a little crazy. Not
Yeah.
gonna lie.
What's going on in your world? What's the most?
What's happening with
Well-
2021?
I think what's happening right now is so much information is coming out, but there's different timelines, and people are believing some things that has just been projected by the media. So there's, outrage that people have about what's happening in the world right now, but that's all manufactured. And then if you look at something and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe that, then you look a little deeper and you can see the other thread, the other storyline, the other possibility. So every time I kind of panic a little bit, I pull myself back, holding my wand, of course, and realize that we are watching a movie, and there are actors playing their roles. So all of the bad actors have been replaced with good actors, but they all have a role to play.
Mhm.
So it does seem a bit far-fetched, but only because of the way we were taught up until now. I'd be very interested to know how you teach in the future. But we have to have some faith. We have to think about the other possibilities and hang on and buckle up and prepare.
Mhm.
So every time they say it's going to get bumpy and you're like, okay, I'm ready. And then the bump happens, you're like, Jesus!
Yeah. What happened? Why am I in this matrix?
And then breathe again. So I think someone had told me recently that when you need to escape from some of this craziness, you just go to the mountains, get out
Mhm.
into nature, go for a hike.
Mhm.
Do you have that in your future? Because did pollution maybe strip some of that?
We completely resolved even the notion of pollution 1,000 years ago. It's a
Doesn't
memory.
exist
It's a
anymore.
memory we teach
Okay.
just for the sake of story, for the sake of remembering our history. But yeah, pollution, we know exactly how to integrate everything into harmony. So there is no invaders, there's no foreigners.
Mhm.
It's all part of the same matrix.
And you still have beautiful natural environments to go into,
Indeed.
even in your mind, I suppose.
Mhm.
Indeed, it's everywhere. Everywhere you can imagine and beyond, colors you've never seen, numbers you've never seen. It's an expanded matrix from
Sounds like
what
another
you.
planet.
It's more like another frequency.
Oh,
That's amazing.
It's
I'm
not a-
excited.
Mhm. It's like a
Yes.
sound frequency. It's not a physical location.
Yeah.
It's a different combination of numbers, just like the 369 of Tesla.
well, that's a lot to take in, because I know 369 is really important numbers. So I'll just have to sit with that for a bit. And that's what a lot of the stuff that's come out recently is having to sit with it and see how that resonates with you and get more comfortable with ideas and suggestions as opposed to just like, no, don't believe that.
Indeed.
Mhm.
As a reflex that damaged human beings of the past always held as a guard against deception, which was rampant in that world. And so the trouble with human beings, though, even the most well-intentioned one, was they did not ever know how to put it down. Whereas in our world, doesn't even exist.
Yeah, there's no negativity. There's none of that.
There's just pure truth, like pure exchange.
Yeah.
So there's no need for a barrier or a defense that keeps us separated into boxes and illusions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. That's a wonderful way of looking at it, because I can even imagine that lends to a different way of children learning and teaching, just through a more organic way where everybody's teaching everybody else's child something. you know, and passing on their knowledge about what's in their DNA and what they brought forward, right?
Totally. And every child is completely understood with the systems that we've all developed. So every bit of education and program is like perfectly attuned to that spirit.
Oh, yay!
Oh, it's 11/11.
It's
but you don't know what
11/11.
that means. Does that mean the same thing in your world
Yes.
in 1990 whatever as it does in your world?
It means
Mathematics is the universal language.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
11/11 is the perfect mirror.
So we pay a minute of gratitude where what matrix I'm from. You've obviously done that as well at 11/11. I'll start with you, Samantha. What's your gratitude today?
Well, today I am grateful to still hold on to an open mind. And the fact that it's very sunny out today and that having the opportunity to meet people from the past, kind of the present, because it was only 3 weeks ago, and the future.
Yeah, nice.
About that.
What are you grateful for, Ryan?
I'm grateful to have a front row seat to the greatest show on earth.
Oh,
Yeah,
excellent.
Being
right.
not entertained.
Yeah. Yeah,
I wouldn't miss it.
that's about it. From what I can see, it's going to be like a really, really exciting next even 5 years, and in the transformation from today's date till now. So what are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for many things. I'm grateful to see the humans of the year 2021 starting to rocket into a different timeline where things can happen so much faster. It's been so slow for so many generations, and it's like we're stepping into this rocket ship. We're watching this process unfold, and it's like the climax of the movie right now. And so I'm grateful to witness that, and I'm grateful for one of my loves through the ages, Cash. If you're watching this, I don't know if he's watching it, but
Yeah, he's an amazing human. Yeah, so what were you learning right before the Great Awakening? Can you share that? Or before you got bumped into this travel?
Oh, well, I was waiting for the solstice on the 21st. I was told that there'd be a big solar flash and that we would ascend.
Says it right there.
And so I was giving it my all, going full steam, saying, all right, one more week, a few more days.
Just hang on.
Taking the fines. I was like, whatever, I'm not paying these in the 5D anyways.
Yeah, right.
And so I don't know. I'm still here, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and on a personal note, breaking character, like, because I knew we would, I'd start. Ryan is the lovely human that does freedom walks.
One of them.
Yeah, one of the people. Yeah. And he's, the one I told you that got arrested in the Santa suit, handcuffed right before Christmas. So that was the day I was Mrs. Claus, dressed like this warrior, beaking off at across the street, yelling at everyone, and he still went and paraded around with his Santa suit. He wasn't going to give up. Yeah. And that was your second ticket that day.
Yeah, and they handcuffed me on the side of the road.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's no one here with a camera. I was so upset.
Yeah.
Apparently someone drove by and took a photo, let me know, so I have a picture of it.
We're wondering if they were pink handcuffs, like the Edmonton
security
guards use those. Yeah. So, what's your biggest, I guess, challenge or awakening, or what do you want to share?
Sometimes I still feel empathy for the spirits that haven't awakened further, and they still are in suffering. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I wish I could just reach out to them and change a few dials and be done with it. But I have to let them be, because it is up to them to awaken themselves.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm in that same boat right now. Even walking outside sometimes. Actually had a nice little conversation with my neighbor on this side yesterday. He was outside smoking a cigarette and drinking coffee, at the front steps, and I'm like, oh, hey, how's it going? He's like, good. And it's like, oh, this place. And we were talking about the graffiti that's on our floor. You guys can all attest. It's been, Kat saw the place before that happened and then after, and it's gone downhill. But it's Ryan and Samantha's first time here today. So, and I love my little apartment. I'm not going to lie, and it's very functional. So it's kind of frustrating. So we're out there talking yesterday and talking about what's going on the main floor and the new management. And he says something about the masks. And I'm like, do you know what I do in my apartment all day? He's like, no. And I said, I do YouTube videos and I tell people I follow bloodlines in money. That's pretty much it. And today I just did a chart on basically 53 companies related to one stockholder, Vanguard. And so they're linked to all the phone companies, all the communication companies, all the banks, all the pharmaceuticals, every major corporation you can find is in that narrative. And I said, and by the way, our own mayor, our own mayor, and our premier, and our prime minister all got in through the same machine that Sleepy Joe got in through. And he was like, and I said, yeah, this whole thing's a scam, dude. It's a total scam. And I go, don't pay mind to the TV. I'm like, shut that off. I go, it's fake. I said, have you seen anybody in this German-fested building get sick yet? Like, nobody's had it. So we haven't built up resistance here. We're not going to build it up anywhere. Like, we're going to die, So it was nice because he kind of understood well, maybe, I was kind of fooled. And two, in Canada, would you guys not agree? English as a second language is a barrier for a lot of people. So there's a large a population that doesn't understand the narrative and are just following the rules.
True, very true.
Just because they don't understand any English enough to research what's going on.
And also too, like, because they've usually gone through a lot to get here.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
They've had to conform to the government so many times
that
they're afraid of their whole life being uprooted again.
And that's exactly it. And the one good thing that Turdo did, actually, that was begrudged.
Turdo wasn't all bad, was he?
Yeah, the one good thing he did was used to make me annoyed, but now I know how the system works. And the only reason it would make me annoyed because refugees would get a lot of money when they came to Canada. Mm-hmm. And the people who'd worked here our whole lives and pensioners and all of that, they don't even get a fraction of that money that the refugees were getting. So for that, I'm appreciative that at least another human being benefited and had their life made better from that ass clown. So that's about all I have to say about that.
But he had an agenda behind that as well.
Exactly.
He needed to get new people into the country that were willing to conform, and were also going to have children and work. Yes, exactly. So there was a motivation behind that, but it did benefit those people, so we can't begrudge that.
And the other thing is after they got their year of money, they're all in now low-income jobs that, like Tim Hortons and McDonald's and a lot of corporations.
So many of those countries, like there's, immigrants from different areas of the world, but there is a large, they put a real push on immigration from the Middle East. Mm-hmm. They destroyed some of those countries so people couldn't return home. So they literally had to come to places like Canada. Mm-hmm. So people from Syria, people from Iran, Iraq. One of our dear friends was born in Lebanon. Maher, if you're watching.
Hi, Maher. I love you.
And so they have this whole other religion, right? It's all about like pushing people together, and that's what they've been doing in Europe for a while. Yeah. Even the old generations, they're in old folks' homes with people they can't even speak to because they don't speak the same language. Yeah. They have different religions. So, but what they were doing, I think I learned this from the Super Soldier, that Saddam Hussein and these different leaders, like, first of all, whatever we're taught about them is
Not true.
it's not true. It's completely different from what everyone was brainwashed to believe. But these are the cradles of the civilization that Earth knows right now. So they have some of the oldest artifacts, the oldest knowledge. They have alien technology. They have a wealth of tools that are very powerful. And yeah, they want total control of all of that.
Yeah.
So they violated, laws. I don't know what you call it, like international agreements on standards in war, which is you're never supposed to destroy history. You're never supposed to destroy museums. And that's what happened with the invasion of these countries. So it's pretty weird. It's pretty deep, And I heard just like them, they have a propaganda TV over there as well. And they're all shown on TV, oh, move to Canada, you're going to get like this cool phone and like things are just way better. And
free money.
Here's
Well,
free
that's
money.
what happens in Barbados. When I was
Yeah.
there twice, I lived there for a month the first time in an Airbnb, and I lived like a local. I didn't do the whole touristy thing. It was like a student housing. It was weird. This old lady in a student housing, whatever. I didn't care. But that's what they did. The Canadians would come from Toronto, and because it's one flight, to go to Toronto, and they would go and recruit a whole bunch of young Bayesian kids, to do schooling and all of this stuff. And I'm like, well, or we have jobs for you. And like, then when one of them comes to Canada, it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of the family. And either for that person to send money back or for them to come up here.
Right.
So, and I'm not talking about that it happens over and over, but it's that way in many, many countries. That's just one of them. And so it's very interesting. I actually looked up the murder rates in all these countries the other day. And that's a little game we can play. Who do you think has the lowest murder rate?
In
The world.
country for the world.
Vatican City.
Lowest?
Oh gosh.
Africa.
No, Japan.
Oh, Japan does.
Yeah, it's one of the
Interesting. Makes sense.
lowest place per biggest countries for per capita.
One of the highest suicide rates.
So yeah, but here's the interesting thing about Japan though, and you got to wonder about the culture after they're gone through school. Kids, when they go to school there, they clean their own schools, they help make their own lunches. And we had a Japanese exchange student stay with us when I was in grade 12, like back in the 80s. And it's very rigid and structured there. And her dad was from Sony. He was a CEO, VP or something from Sony. So really lots of money. And the pressure of being a good human is so high there.
Otherwise, it brings shame to the family.
Yes, it's very, very high. But on the other hand, I think about that is, why is the suicide rate? Is it because they've programmed them after school to now get jobs and live into little shoe boxes? And like, it's very populated there too. So it's very interesting, is the lowest murder rate, yet the highest suicide, So,
I think it's like where the culture pushes people to project their disharmonies. And for us, a lot of times it's externalized, especially in America, we're watching right now, like you just like get mad at everyone and blame everyone and get a gun and take care of business. But like in Japan, it's like, no, it's you that has to change. It's you that has to conform. It's you that has to, it's like,
too much.
it's a famous thing, like, that the Asian parents, they're calling their kids 5 times a day or whatever to make sure that, did you study 3 hours your mathematics? Did you do your da-da-da-da-da?
There was a lot of pressure. There was pressure on her. And she, for the whole year, stayed there. She was a ballerina in Japan. And she loved Canadian food. She put on 10 pounds. 10 pounds, you guys.
She should
10 pounds.
You might as well.
You
die.
should have, like, her father called my dad and ripped him a new asshole because he fattened up his daughter.
Wow.
And it was he put shame on my family because of,
You guys want to know
Yeah,
another
it was really
interesting
crazy.
stat about suicides in Asia? China is the only country where the female suicide, I can't remember if it's equal to or more than the male suicide.
wow.
Suicide rates of men are higher everywhere,
Yeah.
Except in China.
except for China.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the and at least
Right,
according to
one-child
this one analysis of it, it was because of the one-child policy and
Yeah.
how the baby girls are considered inferior.
And they're given away.
So there's these most like inhumane abortion clinics in China that are just like devastating to the female. So yeah, it's anyway interesting.
Well, not to mention the
Sad.
fact that recently I came across is that women are potentially having more than one child, but they're not keeping them. So it could be partly that too, because they're actually paid for them, and those children go into that market we all know about.
Mm-hmm.
But that could be a very difficult
They had that. They say
emotional issue.
that we were told that they would sail the children and put them in baskets and put them down the Yangtze River, and nothing. It's like you said, is further from the truth. It goes exactly back to what we're talking about today. Child trafficking and adrenochrome extraction and
And I'm so glad that frequency isn't going to be no longer held. And I think the more we go through this process, it's like we're all getting filled with helium and love and higher frequencies. And it's like shit trying to hold on to the end of our balloon rope. Wow, come back here. I'm trying to keep you down and keep you negative. And we're like, fuck you, we're done with you. And we're rising up as a collection in the frequency of love. So that's the funny thing is if you go watch The Good Place, I don't know if you've seen it, but certain shows on Netflix I watch and now I know why. Because they're telling us about what would be the worst case scenario if you were in like hell on The Good Place. So in the first 5 minutes of The Good Place, they tell you about your karmatic. So if you kicked a puppy, you went down 10 points, but your value is, blah, 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 billions of credits, like in a video game. So, right? So you're here. So when this girl lands in The Good Place, she thinks she went to the good place, right? And she goes to say, fork you, like, fuck you, there's no swearing. So the very minute I was watching that show, I'm like, I bet you they're in hell. Because what would be the worst thing for people
that you couldn't say fuck? That's my favorite word.
That we're miserable and like we're into these unconscious beings. What would be the worst thing in them is for it to be surrounded in this love and like everybody's happy and
this love and this presence.
Yeah.
I want to. Do you guys have time for one more suicide story?
Yeah.
Blew my mind.
Okay, a suicide story. Go ahead. Lighten the mood.
Really?
No, but it's like you have to. I don't know. I realize too. If you can look at the dark, that means you can appreciate the light more. So it's like
exactly.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Like don't dwell on it. Don't give it more power. But if those people, there's so many people these days are, don't be negative. Don't look at that stuff. It's making you mentally ill. It's like, come on, you guys. You guys are the ones mentally ill because you don't want to acknowledge reality for what it is and face the pain and the fear of what truly is, So I've been attacked a lot by those people recently. And anyway, suicide, though, one of the most like craziest illustrations that I've ever seen of just the impact of media and everything is that the Inuit people in northern Canada, they had like no suicide until the introduction of the television in the 1970s, and then all of a sudden they have some of the highest, I think it might even be higher than Japan, the highest suicide rates in the world. And I know their conditions are very challenging, like really dark winter for 23 or 24 hours a day depending on how far north you are.
Tell me about it.
And
you live up there too.
But also too, just the total like they can't conform to the government system. That is not who they are. but they have no way of, they feel they don't have a way of surviving except to try to be these concentration camp prisoners, which they are.
There we are.
You know.
That's a good way of, thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
And you brought up two concepts, which I thought was really interesting about television and the programming. So
Yeah.
television and the fact that it's patented for mind control, but also about conforming.
Mm-hmm.
Because even if you don't watch TV, which sends a lot of messages to people about like, you're not good enough, you're not thin enough, you're not pretty enough, you're not anything enough. We're all, every time you try to conform, you are always not enough.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what's been interesting for me this year in 2020, because in 2020, I quit my job because I couldn't work in that environment anymore, that frequency. I didn't resonate with it anymore. And I was just slowly like dying on the vine. Like I just wasn't thriving. And this whole year is a bit about breaking out of that conformity, that, getting up at 5, getting to work by 7:30, 8 o'clock, working till 4, 4:30, 5 o'clock, is wash, rinse, repeat, just over and over and over. So I almost feel a little bit like, like chrysalis, like when I'm waking up, I'm learning, I'm blossoming, I'm blooming, I'm meeting people, and I'm finding that courage is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I was so scared of one of the rallies I went to that I was going to get a ticket and I was going to get arrested, and I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to stay. But then I found Raven, and then I found a few people, and I found you because you were dressed in Santa suit that day, and so it's constantly challenging those boundaries of conformity, that rigid box that I lived in. And yeah, I'm probably the most uptight of all of the people in the room, and the people dancing on the Peace Bridge party dance rave thing we did. But that's, you still are who you are, but you can still grow and develop and blossom and learn. And so this year, 2020 was a year of learning, growth, personal growth. I didn't do the things I planned in my, retirement, like travel, but boy, did I ever grow and expand and learn. And I'm just excited for what's around the corner. I'm very,
Me too.
I have days where I wake up and I'm just constantly reminding myself, like David Wolf, today the best day ever, just, and sleeping with your crystals and prayers at night. And, and really, when you talk about that frequency of love, that is like, just hold on to that. It's the highest vibration.
Exactly.
It's, when I first heard that, I'm like, what the hell does that even mean? Like, I mean, check out my socks today. It's all about the love.
You're going to set off Pelosi's foot fetish.
Can't have that.
That's the one type of sock she wouldn't be into.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
So when
I love socks.
People, when people go, they think that's too airy fairy and woo woo for them. Really, at the end of the day, what else is there if there is not love?
Exactly. That's exactly. We're made of love, don't you think? Mm-hmm. Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to ask you?
No.
After you say what you're going to say.
Well, I wanted to speak to, she had mentioned like, sharing what's going on in the world, the conspiracies, it's scary to people. It seems like they don't want to hear it. But I've been taking the photos and the videos of the rallies since September. And one thing, if you ever went and looked at these photos consistently, everybody's smiling.
Yes. Yeah.
Everyone's having fun. Everyone's
There's
looks happy.
music.
And I tell people the truth
And
sets
hugs.
you free. So I went through just this year, like I wasn't in any rabbit holes in my life. I mean, I was a spiritually aware person, but it was only May that I first started really seriously looking at these kinds of things. I didn't know anything about clones and reptilians and all that kind of stuff.
Flat Earth.
Yeah, and when I first started getting the messages in March, I was like, no, I don't want to mess up with my vibration right now. I was focusing on my own things. But when I was ready and I looked at it, it's I said it sets you free. I've never felt better actually and happier, and everyone I'm surrounded with. And we're always having fun, we're always smiling, we're always happy. It's not a bunch of down, depressed, scared people.
I'm okay with not having the answers anymore.
Yeah.
Because if someone says, well, you
don't
don't believe in this, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. I just don't know.
Yeah, I just know what we're told is not right, but I don't know all the answers, but it's exciting because we've started the journey.
Yeah.
We're seekers of truth now.
And it's a feeling more than anything, I think, because it has nothing to do with your IQ or your ability to to be intelligent in the school book way. because even people that have brain damage and struggle to do a lot of basic things, like my sister, actually, she's a cancer survivor. She's had a brain tumor since she was a child, and she's had a lot of brain damage from like the treatments as well as the cancer. But at the beginning of this, she would still watch the news, and I said, Maura, like, the news is fake. Like, stop watching it, you know? Like, she listens to me because of her brain injury. She's like, she doesn't have the defenses of a regular grown adult. She's more like a child, and she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, they're just trying to scare you. Like, this is so fake. Like, look at this, this, and this. And she was just like, yeah, you're right.
I love your sister.
And then all of a sudden, it was the easiest conversion ever with no resistance. And now she's hardcore digital warrior.
She sends me stuff all the time, okay? And she's on it. It's like she is one of the Spice Girls. So. This is Sassy Spice, by the way.
I have a Spice Girl name now. I'm Sassy Spice, and that name comes legitimately because I have a little sass in my life. But my little brother, he was born when I was 16, and he couldn't say Samantha. So when he was able to speak and learning to speak, he would call me Sassy.
Nice.
So that's my Spice Girl name.
You were going to say something else, Ryan.
I was just gonna, I asked people, what is that formula for people that get it? Like, cause when I started getting it, I realized all my friends in my social circle were engineers, scientists, doctors, lawyers, very educated, intelligent people, all asleep across the board. I had to walk away from an entire social network.
Yes.
And so what is the formula that, what is it? Is there something, do you see a common thread that people that get it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't figured it out.
Do those people even socialize with each other now that there's like no bars and no like all of the typical like go to a restaurant and show off your like expensive shit or whatever you do.
They have Zoom parties or something.
Yeah. They have Zoom parties. Didn't you see the one where let's have a Zoom meeting and the guy showed up and he was like wearing a mask naked? Oh yeah. He thought he shut his camera off. That shit we do not need to see, dude. Keep that at home.
I don't know if there's
a
formula as much as there is everybody's awakening. Our awareness is so individual to them based on their life experiences and maybe who they are as a person. Because I knew some of this stuff, but I was always on that hamster wheel with those people you were talking about. So I didn't have the time, and I was also somewhat lazy because you find the time to do the things that interest you, and it didn't interest me enough at that time. But when I started at the physical and the soul level starting to wilt, I knew I had the hardest thing I ever did was to quit my job. Very well paying job, everything. And I walked away from it, and I had the time to start doing research and to actually sit in stillness and listen to my own inner knowing. So I had that opportunity because I saved up some money to live off of. Gosh knows what's going to happen with all that now, but whatever, I'm putting it out there in a positive way. And I had friends who would tell me, stop reading that, stop doing that, just go read a book. And she messaged me 2 months ago from Scotland and said, thank you for being so patient. You knew I would get there eventually. And I cried in the gym.
Aww.
And it was one of those moments that was helpful for me because I wanted to save my friends and my family. And I realized that in my efforts to do so, I was taking a sledgehammer to it, which was not effective at all.
Yeah.
But that was the hardest thing for me because I love and I care about my friends and family so much that I wanted them to be safe. That's all. And I had to sit and I was accused, so you just want to be right. I don't want to be right about any of this. Some of this stuff is horrible. I want my friends and family to be safe. And now I'm slowly able to let it go and let them learn on their own. And I just put it out there. If you want to know anything, feel free to ask. I don't have all the answers, but I can at least give you some things to look into and put some faith that what is meant to be their experience is just going to be their experience, just as mine is mine.
Agreed. Well said. I agree. Can you all do me a favor? It's time for Tinfoil Hat Challenge.
Oh, yay.
And they're all like,
I didn't practice. I'm not supposed to.
Not supposed to practice.
No.
Was told not
And
to.
guess what we get to make today? Viking hats. So everybody gets a whack of tin foil. Dun, dun, dun. There you go.
Mine was getting worn out. I need new ones.
Yeah. And there you go. Lowell named this the THC part of the show. Tinfoil hat count.
Oh, right, because I was gonna say, that's not.
Oh, yeah.
Some of us didn't smoke.
Quickly get
No.
something together. Well, let me think.
Yeah. And we're not having a contest because it's just not all.
What?
Oh, sorry. Competitive basket spice.
We're all winners.
So yeah, we're all winners.
Some people think we're more winners than others.
We're all special snowflakes here.
Yes. The snowflakes.
I'm trying to engineer mine.
I don't
Winner
know.
prize for the first done.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
I'm like-
Show her right. Look directly at the
I'm
camera.
still designing mine.
Up over by the light. Yeah. Perfect. It's kind of like
Looks good.
I've had practice.
I want to wear this in the store.
This girl had some of these on at the weed store, like, and she was wearing a mask, and she had like bright orange eyeshadow,
Yeah.
and then she had two little devil horns. And I looked at,
Nice.
I go, oh, are those in honor of the guy who stormed the Capitol? She looked at me and she's like,
What guy?
no, like just
Okay.
flat out, no. Like, there, what do you think? Oh, those are good. Those are good as part of it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
There.
I'll have to send you my
Right
picture
on.
when I was in Norway and I actually put one of those hats on so that I can redeem myself because my tinfoil.
Maybe if you turn it around the other way, it might sit.
You look like you're from being Swedish or something.
Yeah, you look like, yeah, there, you look like you could be bringing out some pails of milk
More satanic.
to make some cheese.
I did milk cows when I was on the farm growing
Me
up.
too. Where are you from?
I actually milked cows in BC and New Brunswick when I lived on farms in both those places.
She's
Did
an
you grow up in New
interprovincial
Brunswick?
milker.
Did you grow up in New Brunswick?
I would say technically, I was born in England,
Oh,
raised in BC for about 4 years, moved on a boxcar with my family and the animals. We're the boxcar family. And New Brunswick, got to New Brunswick when I was 11. So yeah, and my mom still lives on the same farm.
It's kind of like you were trying to be,
New Brunswick.
yeah,
Sussex.
Cool.
nice.
That's awesome.
So a shout out to Sussex, New Brunswick. Woo! Your old capital of the Maritimes.
Casry Jackson or Casry Love,
Right.
one of the best truthers around.
Now I've got a very special favor to ask Ryan.
And you can take this
And
chair.
he can take this chair.
You want to tell me what you want for next Christmas?
Well, there's not enough time in the show.
This is the last one.
I don't know if med beds are capable of making the perfect man.
Right?
Maybe.
No, I think there is one out there. But anyways, would you grab the guitar and play the beautiful
Oh.
song that you wrote for winter
Oh.
solstice?
Oh. okay.
And
Which one's better?
that one right there. That's the nicer sounding one. And I'm just
The
gonna
whole song?
do some little housekeeping. Yeah, because it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I wrote this song
Look.
for the solstice,
Why don't you get out of the picture then? Taking my tea.
but since I
Sit.
jumped ahead and missed it, I guess I'll do it now. Maybe that's why we skipped the solar flash. Happy solstice.
Happy
2020.
solstice. Thank you, Ryan. That was gorgeous. Do you guys want to come?
Absolutely
Have
beautiful
a-
as always.
Have a chat and sit. Just gonna wrap up my show quickly in a few minutes because I don't want to put any more pressure on anybody. You had musical notes of love coming all the way. That's all I could see from way over here on the comments. So I really want to thank everybody who tuned in today to Friday Fuckery. We let it go organically. I kind of scared them with a few ideas, but
This pushes me out of my comfort zone.
And then we went a little dark with the suicide talk.
Yeah, but no, it's all good because
Well,
we're
from dark to light.
Yeah,
Here we
dark
are.
to light.
This is what I think every Raven show has been about. Real Raven Radio is about bringing people's vibrations up, sticking a little bit of shit truth in there, and then surrounding it with a lot of happy vibrations when we end in love and light. So you get a lot of, I think, things to share with everybody. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody. And first, we're going to let you tell everyone where they can see that beautiful song over and over again, because I know you have it on YouTube.
YouTube, City of Light is my channel. That's my new musical name.
You're a new
Because
music-
Calgary, I'm rebranding Calgary.
Yeah,
Been doing it for a while. City of Light. We have a lot of light workers here.
Yeah. I think
The light's very strong. It's the sunniest city in Canada. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, City of Light.
And we got lots of dumbs. Yeah, we got lots of dumbs we got to conquer. That's right. So Samantha, do you want to tell us anything in closing?
Well, this was very much out of my comfort zone, but I did it because it was outside of my comfort zone. So, and I learned a lot today. And like I said before, courage is courageous, courage is contagious. So I challenge everyone to step outside of their comfort zone and try something they haven't done before, because you'll be surprised at what you're capable of.
That's right. That's good. Well put. Well put. And how about you, Kat? You can give your websites for where to find your beautiful TRS spray. So everybody
That's the pineal pineal punch. I call it the pineal gland punch.
Yeah, so there's that one. I can just include the link, the heavy metal scrubber, which very few things actually do that for us, and it's one of the contaminant / weapons used against human beings right now. So if you have a way of dealing with that, it's quite powerful for your overall health. And so, yeah, that's a great tool. Also, we do hemp products with Gaia Gold. So unfortunately, the website isn't fully developed because of the nature of the industries here in Canada. But pretty soon I'll be a distributor for a large organic outfit as well. So all the like just turmerics and curcumins and different CBDs and ginger juice, everything organic we'll have available.
Yay.
So yeah, all about health.
Fabulous.
That is about health, all about health. So, and I just wanted to keep it light and fluffy today and let everybody be themselves. These are my friends. These are
That's for real.
Yeah. I didn't pay them to come here.
And I can tell you, she's funny in real life, actually.
Yeah, not funny on camera.
No, I mean, like, you're actually funny. You're not
What do you mean,
pretending.
funny looking?
Like, and you know what? Right? Like, I forgot to say to you last time too. You're so much nicer than Ellen, and you're so much more ethical than Oprah.
Maybe I can get some sponsors now that I'm so famous with 55 people watching. Actually, it's funny because when we shut the thing off the last time, Kat and Cash were here. As soon as I press end stream and shut it off, it said 500 and some odd viewers. So I never know how many people are watching. So, and you have to be funny in times like this, don't you?
You have to keep the vibes high, like you said.
You have to keep the
Otherwise,
vibes high. So I'm gonna force y'all out of your comfort zone too, and see if you learn the Trump dance. I was trying to teach them the Trump dance. So I know some of you guys are doing it at home too. So we're gonna do the Trump dance and then end out.
Yeah.
Okay,
We should
so
put the YMCA music.
oh yeah.
Can we actually put
Ellen
on
has
that?
Yeah, we're gonna
dance
put on
together.
YMCA. So go stand over there, and I'll be over by the camera, so we can. Looks like I gotta turn my alarm off.
Mine won't stay on.
We're gonna have some
Support constructive.
fun things in here. We'll probably get in trouble on our video, and they'll
Oh,
say,
yeah,
"Oh, you
maybe.
can't play it, me."
Oh, maybe we
like
shouldn't do
shut
that
up.
then.
Whatever, we don't care. We're still gonna do it. Okay, you ready? We gotta probably listen to a commercial first. Here we go. Because I didn't pay for my subscription. No, it'll come right on. Okay.
I'll follow you. I don't know it.
Okay, you guys ready? Hey, wait. This is how we escape back into our matrix.
Yeah.
On the OA, we have to get it all synchronized.
So go to
Then the shoulder.
3,000. What year are you from?
Yeah. Should we get a point? There we go. Okay. Punch, 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 wobble, 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 punch, punch, point. Punch, punch, point. Everybody doing it? Woo! And he never does this part, ever. He only does the, and now this is when he does the, and point. And then does a little rocking back and forth. Oh, there we go.
That's
So we got kicked off from our alarm. Yay! Thank you for doing the Trump dance with us. Punch, punch, point. I love you guys all. So thank you very much. Oh my goodness, so fun. Have a good day, everyone. I love you. I love you. I love you, Triggered Happy, Angel Spice.
Happy. Is that sugar tea?